everyone, it's Marley and Anthony with TWB, and we thought the best way to get to Alaska was by a cruise.
Yep, we were totally off base. We discovered that Juneau, Alaska is almost like a stone's throw from Seattle. So in this episode, we're gonna explore Juneau and show you how Juneau can give you a dope Alaskan experience. Let's check it out.
Some people call it America's last frontier, but long before that was even a concept, the native peoples called it home, Alaska.
Since moving to Seattle, we always wanted to take advantage of our great opportunity to easily visit Alaska. Unfortunately, we were under the misconception that a cruise was our best option.
But we were wrong. See, we discovered that Alaska's capital city of Juneau is only a 2-hour flight from Seattle.
This was great because we heard that besides being the capital, Juneau embodies a lot of great things that Alaska is known for.
Epic landscapes, majestic wildlife, rich culture. We had to go. And get this, we were heading to Juneau at a time of year we never would have thought to visit.
That's right, we weren't visiting during the summer peak season. We were going to experience an April weekend trip from Seattle to see if Juneau could truly live up to what we had only heard.
So we packed our bags and hopped on a quick flight from Seattle so that we could check out Juneau and put it up against our rating scales, and most of all, see if it could truly represent an amazing Alaska experience.
But what even defines an Alaskan experience? What is Alaskan culture?
To answer the question, perhaps we would have to go back to before it became the 49th state of the Union in 1959. William H. Seward, the man who purchased the land on behalf of the U.S. from Russia, was initially mocked for his purchase. But after gold and oil was discovered, some hailed him as a visionary. Seward's achievement was enough to at least get him a park named after him in Seattle, among other things.
Or perhaps Alaskan culture is connected to the original European country to stake a claim, Russia. Today there are still towns, villages, and even natural features that bear Russian names.
Even though Vitus Bering, the man who discovered Alaska on Russia's behalf, was actually Danish.
Or is Alaskan culture more connected to its indigenous heritage? For thousands of years, Alaska was home to a diverse collection of indigenous nations.
Or maybe Alaska culture today is a complete blend of all of those layers of its history. Only sure thing going in was that Juneau would define what an Alaskan experience meant for us.
Before we jump into our Juneau experience, we want to shout out where we stayed during our time visiting, the Silverbow Inn.
Beautiful people, we love this place. Not only is it located in the heart of downtown, the Silverbow Inn makes it hard to leave.
On top of the comfortable, cozy rooms, the inn offers a ton of amenities that increases the guest comfort to the max, from a kitchen with espresso and breakfast items to games and even more.
And we can't forget to mention the hot tubs. There's even a historic element with the building the inn occupies. The Messerschmitt building, originally built in 1907 as a bakery, has been combined together from 4 buildings over an 100-year-plus time period to make up the current Silverbow Inn Hotel and Suites.
The current owners went a long way in preserving the building's historic charm, and it definitely translated to us experiencing a welcoming experience. Yes, we can't state enough how much we love the Silverbow Inn.
If you take a trip to Juneau, we definitely recommend booking a stay with the Silverbow Inn. Tell them TWB sent you. We arrived in Juneau eager and ready to see if it could represent a true Alaska experience equal to the epic things we've heard about Alaska.
Hindsight, we can at least say that we got a full Alaska experience in the weather alone. On a weekend in mid-April, we experienced a day of snow flurries and rain, as well as sunny days where we went outside without needing a coat.
No matter what the weather was, the natural scenery surrounding Juneau was always on amazing display. It was also another feature that lived up to what we heard about Alaska. Just 20 minutes outside of downtown Juneau lies arguably the most spectacular one, the Mendenhall Glacier.
Stretching 13 miles over the Juneau ice field, the Mendenhall Glacier is spectacular and a beautiful sight to see. Visitors have plenty of options for taking in the spectacular beauty of the glacier, thanks to a variety of hiking trails that offer unique perspectives.
We felt incredibly lucky to get to experience this natural wonder in real life, especially considering that the glacier is receding at an increasingly rapid rate. Some saying that it could disappear from its current vantage point by 2050.
Something to think about if you're on the fence about booking a trip to Juneau. Outside of the natural landscape and even the nature in general, Juneau offered other great connections to a true Alaska experience.
Having come through the small international airport and riding through the seemingly smaller city, it was easy to forget that Juneau is a state capital. But we were quickly reminded when we saw the Alaska State Capitol building. It stood out because of not having a common feature that we usually dissect on our journeys to state capitol buildings: domes.
Beautiful people, I'm standing in front of the Alaska State Capitol building. What's interesting about this building is that, opposed to a lot of other Capitol buildings, this one does not have a dome.
Despite Juneau's size, we would come to find out that it was quite possibly Juneau's size that contributed to the overall experience.
Yes, Juneau offered amazing ways to directly connect to Alaska's history, like the Alaska State Museum. That shares a building with the State Library and Archives.
This museum is amazing because it showcases Alaska's full story, from indigenous cultures and Russian colonial history to modern life. And if you're really looking to connect to Juneau history, you can take the Douglas Bridge that connects Juneau to Douglas Island and head to the Treadwell Mine Historic Trail.
Once home to the largest gold mining operations in the world, the Treadwell mining town became a ghost town overnight after a massive disaster. Today, you can take a trail lined with interpretive signs that weaves past old machinery and building foundations.
Sorry y'all, we didn't go any further because I got too creeped out. But that was okay because we did experience another way to directly connect to the Juneau history that was more of our liking. That was checking out the very visible Indigenous presence.
Whether it was in the art or institutions around the city, Alaska's connection to its original stewards is very easy to see. One of the coolest ways to immerse yourself with the culture and the art is to walk the Totem Pole Trail that runs near Heritage Square and along the downtown Juneau Seawalk.
But what stood out most in Juneau that lended to a true Alaska experience had to do with the people, whom we got to spend a lot of time with.
That's right. See, we were visiting Juneau during the time of two major annual events. The first was the Alaska Folk Festival, which is a week-long celebration of folk music, but also so much more.
For a whole week, the capital city is filled with music from musicians across all skill levels. Main performances take place at Centennial Hall, but bars and even restaurants across town also feature acts throughout the week.
What's really great is that this is a totally free event to attend everywhere. There are workshops, pop-up jam sessions, and even a nightly dance. And even later into the night, the streets around the bars do get pretty lit. We had a blast.
The other major event coinciding with our visit were the annual traditional games. The event is hosted in Juneau each spring and includes games that test skill levels based on hunting and survival skills of the indigenous people of Alaska and across the north, which date back hundreds of years.
Athletes of indigenous descent come from all over the world to compete. One of the major sponsors is the Juneau-based indigenous nonprofit See Alaska Heritage Institute.
It was definitely a privilege to experience the indigenous culture and competition. Being around the people at these two events, along with interacting with the people around Juneau outside of those events, made us realize that the best part of Juneau that represented a true Alaska experience was the importance of community.
And maybe it was Juneau's size that lent to the strong sense of community, but to us, a majority of it was definitely the people. Almost everyone we encountered all added to creating community, whether it was offering a local recommendation or even personally offering to take you there. Yes, we could tell that community was really important to these people.
And making us feel a part of it seemed just as important. That was awesome. The beautiful nature, the unassuming fun we had at a folk festival, the food, more on that later. We had an amazing time in Juneau, and it really was a perfect way to experience Alaska.
We are definitely coming back, next time in the summer so we can really get outside and outdoors. But we did get hip to a 3-day ferry from Bellingham, Washington. That might be a great adventurous way for us to come back. Stay tuned. Still, we had a great time and can recommend you taking a trip to Juneau, even for a weekend getaway for you Seattleites. But how does it objectively stack up against our rating scales? Travel grade. Since we took a flight from Seattle to Juneau, we are putting this trip against our travel scale made for these types of travels. And as always, we start out with a 2 out of 2 for quality of home airport amenities.
Listen, this trip is just a 2-hour flight from Seattle, so that means both points for difficulty of flight to destination and duration of flight to destination.
We recognize that flights at the time of the releasing of this video are outrageously expensive in general. So we can just say we are giving both points for affordability of flight options because this is a cheaper option compared to most other destinations coming from Seattle.
Now, quality of destination airport amenities somewhat touched a nerve with you, girl. See, when we arrived at the airport extra early for our flight on a Sunday afternoon, I was alarmed to find out that not only was the galley not open until 4, but the bar didn't open until 5, just an hour before we boarded. So we'll give 1 point here just because we heard they serve great pizza.
Coming in within the Marley getting her desired share of pre-flight mimosas point of a perfect score, the travel grade for Juneau is still impressive with a 9 out of 10.
Level of fun. Based on what you saw already, it should come as no surprise that we are giving both points for quality of activities.
With the 2 events we covered, the same can be said for special events. So both points here. Both events being great options for people of all ages are also great examples to why we can give both points for demographic applicability.
Affordability is also an area where we can give both points. But the area where we did not expect to get such an amazing experience was quality of restaurant options. But again, we were mistaken. The food everywhere was amazing.
We're talking a bomb breakfast made that way every day at the Rookery, a coffee house, bakery, and bistro.
For lunch, we grabbed a great meal at the Hangar on the Wharf. And when we just needed a pick-me-up, we experienced some great coffee at Sacred Grounds, an Alaskan native-owned cafe.
For dinner, we can't get over our meal at the popular Boko Al Lupo. Beautiful people, this is an award-winning restaurant that sits unassumingly in downtown Juneau. Their pizza and pasta are worth the trip, even if it wasn't just a 2-hour flight from Seattle.
And if you're looking for a totally upscale dinner experience, salt, steak, and seafood is a great choice for vibes and food. I really love that their bar is open during their breakfast, so mimosas were available when needed.
We were even blown away by the late night food selection at the Imperial Grill. If you know, you know.
So both points for quality of restaurant options.
The total level of fun score for Juneau reflects exactly what we personally experienced, and also a score of when Marley gets her desired amount of mimosas, coming out to a perfect score of 10 out of 10. Comfortability for Black people. Before we jump into the score breakdown, we wanted to talk about a local Black organization based in Juneau.
The Black Awareness Association of Juneau. We got to meet with the organization's president, Christine Michelle, who told us a little bit about their mission.
My name is Christina Michelle, and I am a longstanding member of the Black Awareness Association of Juneau and soon to be the next president. The Black Awareness Association of Juneau, we have been here in the community for just over 30 years, and our mission is to support the Black community of Juneau. We also have a very big goal to educate our community about the Black culture and the Black experience of living in Juneau. If you're considering a visit to Juneau, I would definitely say make it happen. We want you to come. Juneau is a very unique place in terms of the people, the culture, the landscape, and the environment. It's so peaceful here, and it's just so unique in terms of just the community. It's a beautiful thing to experience, hanging out with locals. Everybody's just so down to earth. Like, it's a very welcoming and accepting community.
Yep, our experience definitely reflected that. But what is it up against our comfort scale?
No surprise that we give both points for our personal feelings during our visit.
It shouldn't be surprising either that we are giving both points for exposure to nature. Now, what about visibility of signs and artifacts of inclusion? Yep, we are also giving both points here.
That's right. Outside of the Indigenous representation throughout the city, there was an abundance of everyone is welcome signs as well as pride flags. And thanks to organizations like the Black Awareness Association of Juneau and the Sealaska Heritage Institute, we can give both points for access to local cultural resource groups.
We can even give both points for diversity in destination marketing.
Now, this comfort scale is used for destinations with expected lower Black population numbers. That's why it's excluded as a criteria. But it's because of that we were shocked by the amount of Black people we did see. So we can give 1 point for amount of Black people seen.
This brings the total comfortability for Black people score for Juneau to an impressive 9 out of 10.
The scores only cemented what we felt about Juneau. The breathtaking views, the delicious food, the abundance of ways to have a good time, and of course the people. We can't wait to go back.
I can't lie. Before this trip, I did not have Juneau, Alaska being a top destination on my travel bingo card. But now, we're going to be recommending this place for a long time, especially if you're in Seattle.
Yes, coming from Seattle, you're just a 2-hour flight away from an epic and or relaxing weekend or week-long getaway to the capital city of America's last frontier. A place where community is strong and all are welcomed. We definitely recommend you taking a trip to Juneau, Alaska.
Let us know if you visited Juneau and what is your favorite place to experience. Or let us know what we missed. Be sure to like, subscribe for more of our travel adventures and reviews. Until next time, beautiful people, stay up, stay true, and do you.